So as I'm doing some listing this morning, look at that, he's not chewing on stuff. I got the notification that this was delisted. Y'all, I'm gonna head back in here in a minute and show you my chaos, but I've got a great topic today. We are headed to the Commonwealth cabin. I've got to navigate my way between the hitter and the pitcher really quick. Don't hit me, y'all. Don't hit me. Ooh. And we got a few sales today, but I had an item removed for being offensive. It's been a while. I'm pretty careful about that stuff, but this one, I thought I had it right and I didn't have it right, and they removed the item because it's offensive. I'll show it to you in a little bit. Let's go take a look. And continuation of the last episode. What are you doing? You are in the chewing phase lately, bud. Come on. When I saw that message today, well, two things went through my mind. The first thing that went through my mind was it's been a long time since this happened. I'll tell you the last item that happened to. I didn't agree with that either, but, you know, whatever. I don't make the rules, right? But the second thing went through my mind is I'm trying to film every day this week. And when you do that, you know, I like to have at least 10 sales a day on the videos, and it's because I'm taking a couple days next week and I'm not going to film those days. And I'm like, I'll just squeeze one extra instead of doing every other day where we have 15, 20 sales, sometimes more. We're doing every day. So we're only going to have maybe 11 or 12 or so sales today. And so I was a little disappointed in that because I thought that was something that was going to sell quickly. We set it out there at a good price, and I think it would have sold quickly, but it was gone as fast as it was listed. And I don't mean gone in a good way. Sold, I mean gone in a, don't list this. This is offensive kind of way. So we'll tell you about that in just a second, but let me pull this one out. Boy, we got some space for some more display. I don't like to display stuff up here that's not being sold, but right now I don't have these listed. I want to get that whole set, but I think I want like a perfect one. And my daughter paints, and I'm thinking I might learn how to strip these and paint those. And anyway, I don't know why I'm yapping about that. Barbie Goes Traveling Carry Case. This one was from a private pick, and I paid up for this pick because somebody invited me into their home. Not just this, there was a bunch of stuff. I think we're still going to do really well on that pick, but this carrying case, I think there's nothing in it. Let me just take a minute, I'll show you. There might be like a little, sometimes there's little closets and stuff in there. Oh, that's, well, there it is, little box. That one sold pretty quick. I was happy about that, and it sold for $69 plus shipping. Condition is everything on these, and this one's pretty good. When I get some of those cases, sometimes there's a car on this side, and then there's the plane on the other. And so you look for the sold comps and see which ones are better, and that's what you make your cover photo. If you go way back on this Commonwealth Flipper channel, you remember me talking about the last item that got taken away for being offensive was something that shocked me. It made zero sense to me. It was a seat cushion from the Washington Redskins. It was sitting up there. And I'm like, I don't understand this at all. I've sold hundreds of Redskins things. Somebody just hit a ball into the shed. And, you know, obviously there's hundreds listed, I'm like, I don't get it. And so maybe there's some kind of a reporting component that does that. I don't know. You'd think that their AI and stuff would be fully equipped to do this kind of stuff, whatever their policies are. Even if I disagree with their policies, in this case, in that case I did, in this case I do. But I don't know, I'm an old school history guy, right? So I don't kind of blow in the wind to figure out what the heck's going on. At the same time, I don't want to offend people, of course. But I didn't think that was offensive. I don't think this is offensive. And I made a video about one particular thing, historical thing, that I really, really thought should not be taken. And it looks like it's being sold right now, too. And I sold that item, too. So I'm talking about all those things, but that Redskin thing was one that I was very surprised at. Has anybody had trouble selling Redskin stuff? It seems to me like everybody lists them and it sells all the time. I still do it. That empty spot right there is going to absolutely drive me nuts. And now we got another empty spot. The trolley from the Commonwealth Picker video. If you didn't watch that one the other day with the kid pickpocketing me at the flea market, you should go check that one out. That was a interesting day. The video gets better as the day goes along. The neighborhood trolley. Right there. That one sold. Took a little while. I didn't even have to get an offer on this one. I sent a few offers out, but nobody bid on them. And it sold for full price. The trolley sold for $75 plus shipping. I toyed with keeping this one for my 80s cave. I used to fake being sick. I never liked school, y'all. I never did. And then I became a teacher. Because I wanted to stay home and eat soup and watch TV. And Mr. Rogers, of course, was on to keep me company. And that's a bit of an inspiration for my show, even though I've got hats over here. I should get the sweater rack and change my shoes and walk in from the other place, but I don't want to be that corny. Speaking of private picks, I've done, well, let me tell you, let's see, what's the next one here? The next one came from a private pick too. And one of the items that I'm talking about that I was afraid was going to get taken down, that people had told me was going to get taken down, or people in the comments were like, you shouldn't sell that, that's offensive. And I'm like, whatever, okay. You don't have to sell it, but I'm okay with selling it, was an Uncle Remus book. And if you know anything about that, that's what, late 19th century folk tales from Joel Chandler Harris. There we go. Anyway, that was a book, and I had referenced that in my AP World History class. Now, AP World goes super, super quick, so, you know, post-Civil War, you know, antebellum South and stuff like that, let's go through quick. So I'd use reference points that some kids have some familiarity with and different things like that. Of course, you know what happened with the ride from Disneyland and all that stuff, and some of those books and VHS and all that stuff got taken down when it became an issue, and then they slowly seem to find their way back, which I think is interesting. It's telling to me that some of these marketplaces will be like, in the heat of the battle, they'll back away from it, and then it just slowly creeps back in. But that was a really early copy of that book. And that book is, I don't know, I don't want to get in trouble with people here, but, you know, from a history standpoint, that would be a dirty shame for that kind of history to disappear. And there's so much, and I went into the detail about that story. I'm not going to go through it today, and the history of it, and the folks that benefit from it today, and the museum, and all this stuff. And that was just a cool piece of history that I thought would have been foolish to not allow. I sold it. There's no problem. It sat there forever. They never took it down. And that's part of the issue that I want to talk about with this item today. Let's pull one more item first here. Thank you to whoever told me I had this listed wrong, by the way. That's one benefit of being on social media, boy. People will tell you when you got a listing wrong, and you can fix it, and it doesn't sit around forever. Nylent. You remember me buying these cars on the Commonwealth Picker channel? Some of them are a pain, y'all. I wasn't in love with it, but I was in love with those micro machines that I had in that deal, which I have not listed, like a dummy. Sometimes I force myself to list the unsexy stuff first to get it moving. But this little Nylent car right here didn't take too long to sell. I think it sold just under $19, I think. 18 something. I know you guys don't care when it's 1805. I try to be right, but sometimes I'm a little off. 1805 plus shipping. So as I'm doing some listing this morning, look at that, he's not chewing on stuff. I got the notification that this was delisted. And I was like, man, I bought this at a private pick, by the way, with a bunch of stuff. It's the same one I got this. I'm looking around. It's right in front of my face. And that one, incidentally. And that was with it. And we did a Tickwitty show the other day, Tikwity. Go check it out, Home Goods and stuff. And I was going to sell this in there. And I knew it went for really good money. But we didn't get to it. And I'm like, just list it on eBay. Louisiana Coffee and Chicory. This one, I mean, I understand the caricatures and they want to do whatever. This, to me, I'm sorry, this is just a beautiful black Southern woman here. Coffee and Chicory. I just don't see it on that one. But I understand, and it's on coffee. But here's the key with this. Well, first of all, I didn't have a lid on it, so I was disappointed because these can go for really good money. Let me get my phone out. When I went to list it, there was tons listed and tons sold. I'm like, okay, well, maybe they don't think this is offensive. You know, it doesn't have the typical caricature stuff with, you know, whatever it is. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You know it, you see it. I just don't see it with this one. And there was tons. Look at this. It just goes on forever. Sold. I mean, I could scroll forever. But there are now none listed. And there were plenty listed before. So I don't know that... I don't know how it works, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't know if there's some kind of bot, there's some kind of, you know, AI system that's doing this. But apparently there wasn't any action on this at all. And then I listed mine, and then not just mine, but everything got taken down. Like, what? Bad timing, I guess. Maybe if I would have listed it one day later, then it would have been in one of these solds, I guess. I'm not quite sure. So maybe we'll sell it back over on Antiquity. I'm not sure. There's a African-American couple that lives in Bedford, Virginia here. And they have a booth. And they sell all kinds of stuff like this. So I started to dig in a little bit. I mean, I'm not going to spend forever on this. It's not the end of the world, but a little into black Africana, or excuse me, what do they call it? Black Americana, stuff like that. And yeah, I can totally get some of it. I get that. And they can make whatever policy they want. I'm not making an argument for eBay to bow to the demands of Commonwealth Flipper. That's just stupid. I'm just making an argument here that, you know, like I talked about these folks down here that have an antique booth, and I got to talk to them a couple times. They're really, really awesome people. And they're like, yeah, it's been awesome for our business that marketplaces won't sell this. And so I just started asking questions, you know, like who buys this stuff and who's just like everybody. It's the gamut, everybody. You know, from poor people to wealthy people, older people, younger people, you know, black, white, whatever, everybody buys it. And they're like, this is the best thing for our business ever. And we love this stuff. And I'm like, oh, well, good for you. So maybe I should track them down and sell them that tin real cheap. This is not an item that I normally sell. I'll show it to you in a second, but let me finish a thought first on this. This one's in a box, so it was an easy decision to make. My problem really isn't with eBay's policies or what they want to do. eBay can do what eBay wants to do. They're a private company. They can do what they wish. You know, we can complain. We can do whatever. The problem with what I see, let me give a kudos first. There's no punishment here. There's no, I had an item taken. I've had a few items taken down in the last 6 months or so for whatever policy violation or whatever it is that I had no idea about. There's no punitive action on it. And I appreciate that. They just simply remove it. They tell you, you can still find the listing. You can't pull it up, but at least you know what the heck it is and stuff. So those are improvements on the past, and I appreciate those things for sure. I feel like technology should be good enough that even however difficult it might be to have a cohesive, coherent policy about certain things, I mean, there's enough data out there that kind of stuff, if they don't want you to list it, it doesn't get listed. Or this, you know, because what are you going to do? If the thing you're not supposed to list and it sells and then people see the solds or whatever, there should be enough technology to make it consistent, enforceable, whatever your policy is, and clear to people. But you can see why people get upset. I mean, I could get $70 for this thing. Well, it doesn't have a lid. I don't think I could. And you see other people getting it. It's like, you know, or if you see those listings. In this case, I don't see any currently listed. So, but I did see them before I listed it. All right, I went up and ate dinner, so I don't remember what the heck where exactly I was at in the conversation, but I know I haven't showed you this, and I do want to mention a couple other things real quick about, I don't know if I'll be able to do this. Maybe I'll just do it on the floor. I picked this one up at, oh man, am I not going to be able to, I guess I'll let you peek in there. I'm not going to take that apart. I'll just show you a picture if I haven't already. And this one came in a box, which made it it made it an easy decision for me to list that and sell it. I hear the boys out here. They did a live show today, y'all. They did a live show. They sold video games over on Dibdy.com, and they did pretty good. I don't know if they know how well they did. They sold each of them sold their own games, and then I threw in a bunch of games for them to sell, and sold a couple of consoles. So now I gotta pay them, but I'm gonna scare them. Watch this. How'd y'all like selling today on Dibdy?
It's pretty good.
Is it fun?
Yes.
It took over an hour. Did you guys focus?
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
No, he didn't. He was terrible. He was terrible.
All right, so you guys did really well. Made a bunch of money. I think the show, like, I don't know, $300-400 or something. But unfortunately, you guys failed to raid the next show. So you know what the rules are when you fail to raid the next show?
What's that?
I get to keep all the money.
What? Actually?
But yeah, I get to keep all the money.
For real?
Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Of course not, y'all.
Oh, God.
I'm kidding. All right, no jokes. Y'all go out and play.
All right.
Take this remote with you. All right, I don't even remember exactly what I've said here today, but I don't mean to offend anybody. If I made somebody bad, I'm sorry. That's just the way I feel. You can feel how you want to feel. I do want to say this, though, really quick. is I'm not relisting that. Whenever, if you're new, if they've taken something down, even if you disagree with the policy, you're going to disagree with different things. And sometimes it's, you know, taking stuff down that's illegal to sell, for goodness sake. You know, don't ever relist that stuff. It's just not worth it. To me, it's not worth spending the time to make the arguments and do all this stuff. I mean, I'm talking about it on here just for information's sake, but I'm not sending any emails to anybody. I'm not doing any of that stuff. So it's not illegal to sell. I'll just sell it to somebody else. So, or sell it on another platform, I should say. But definitely don't relist something that they've told you to take down. Or more specifically, that they actually took down themselves. So remember, it is their platform after all. Gotta remember that. All right, here we go. This, what the heck is back there? Looks like some kind of clothing. Western Digital HD little hard drive here. And let's see, terabyte. I don't know, 1 terabyte. I don't know what the heck this thing is, but I know it's sold. And it's pure profit at this point. We're doing really well off of that private pick that just aired last Wednesday, I think, on the Picker channel. $21.95 plus shipping. Speaking of those private picks, I have done more this year. I'm going to get into this in a later video. I really see stuff coming down the path that just seems to be fitting together. And some of the stuff I talked about on the last video too, with eBay's fee structure overseas and stuff. And I'm starting to see stuff that's making sense to my old mind with the new technology and stuff that's coming out, that I want to, I don't know, it's not a warning necessarily, because I'm so incredibly bullish on reselling, even with this new dynamic that I see taking shape, that I think things like private picks are going to become key in some ways for some folks as well, and variations of those kind of things. And I have done some private picks. I've done more this year than I have ever done in any year, and we're not even halfway through the year. And I've tried to do, this sounds dumb, I don't know why, but I feel like it's cheating because I'm on social media and I could do these private picks when they come to me. I've been doing the private picks that I've been finding, with one exception so far. And I'm going to keep trying to do that. I think it's fun to go out on a garage sale day and think, how do I turn this garage sale day into one more connection? And I'm wondering if anybody else is doing that out there. Hey, now I have somebody to root for out here. Beat him, Reagan. Beat him. Curveball. Don't get me wrong, y'all. You know, if it was, you know, platforms can do what they want. If it was, you know, the government stepping in and saying, you can't do this and you can't do this, and it's, you know, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and all kinds of stuff, then I'd have a problem and I'd fight. But I'm not going to fight. It's not a fight you're going to win. And it's a dumb fight anyways. So here we go. Chicago Cutlery. I don't pick up many knife sets, but this one came from a buyout. And I was like, well, what the heck? I figured I'd get 30, 40 bucks. And I almost did. 25% off. I got $29.96 for Chicago Cutlery. Knife block full set. I really don't pick anything up unless it's a full set. Unless it's Cutco, I'll pick the heck up out of those. I am very, very slowly but surely getting a little better at Barbie. I'll never be good at it, I'm afraid. And I never gravitate towards it. This is going to be the right one. And part of the reason why is because I picked up one of these early ones. I can't get it out of here. What am I doing? Is it stuck on something? Something's not right. Let me get them both. This is a 35th anniversary of the 1959 Barbie. I picked up one of those early ones in the 50s, or 59, I guess. I don't know what it was. It looked kind of like that, but not exactly. Obviously, this is a repop. That's what it was getting stuck in down there. I'll put this one back in a minute. And the repops go for okay money, I guess. Enough to list it $23.70 plus shipping. Could have done better, but this is a little damaged. The next one, this may not be back here. Let me peek, see if I got it underneath in the bookcases here. I think it might be inside. It's a big set. Yeah, this one is inside. I have to go grab it, but it's the Arthur Maxwell Bible sets that I remember when I was a kid. It was one of the very first things when I started to go garage selling 25 years ago that I started to pick up, and they had resale value back then. I think there was a nostalgia to them. They're slow sellers, but if you put the right price on it, depending on the condition of them and the year of the print on them, they can go, and they're definitely worth picking up. I usually try to get them around 10 bucks. Who's winning?
No one.
Nobody? Try to hit him. All right, here they are. I remember my neighbor who I've referenced many times, having these in her house. And with her candy dishes and all her knickknacks and all that stuff. These are okay, y'all. These go okay. This was sold for just under 60. But you always check the year. I can't read that because I'm too old. And condition, and it really does make a difference on these. And these took a little while. I think I paid 15 for them, sold for 60 plus shipping. Give you updates to the game all the time here. This is the kind of item that I mentioned the other day that's harder and harder to sell for me. Well, for a lot of people, I suppose, because the size of it. And if it's a big item that doesn't sell for a bunch, it's just harder with the shipping the way that it is. And I shy away from them. But I saw this one at a sale for $1, and I'm like, it is perfect. Brunswick, I mean, just perfect. And I was like, let's do it. Picked it up, and it did. Sold pretty quickly, $24.95 plus shipping. So for me, it's just too good of money to pass up. I know it's a little bit of a pain, but you get the right box. It's like this, right? I tell people all the time, you know, with the right box, shipping is easy on large items. It's just not that hard. And people are like, I don't want to do books like that. Those are some of the easiest things you could ship either if you can pick them up. And this is not going to be that difficult either. It might take a little bit of time, but $1 to $25 worth it. Plus, I'd love picking those up, and you can find them often. But they got to be in good condition. They can't just, it's just too hard to sell them anymore unless they're in good shape. I think selling Bibles it's kind of an acquired art after time. New Open Bible. This one I think I picked up in Tennessee. And that's not that long ago. It sold pretty quick. It's got a name on it right there, but that's a nice Bible. You find the leather ones, and you find stuff that's either giant print or red letter. This is a study edition. Sometimes they have those tabs. There's just different things that people are looking for. And that one sold, like I said, pretty quick. And it sold for just under, what did this sell for? $59.21 plus shipping. Good one. All right, I think I messed this up. This set sold for $59.21. This one sold for $49. That's still pretty good. Hey, look at that. Man, $49.50. Now we got $110. Am I doing my math right? Almost $110 in Bibles. That's a good day. All right, do I need to break this up? Hey, Reagan, will you say thank you to Maria for buying a Commonwealth picker bag?
Yeah.
Say thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Bye, and don't forget to get your sticker at commonwealthpicker.com.
I just took Turner deep, and then I'm winded because I'm old. All right, here we go. Nike Dry Fit. Size XL. This one sold on 25% off. Sold for $13.96, I think, plus shipping. I bought a bunch of lunch boxes recently on I think I got it on Shop Commons. And there's a few winners in there. I listed them. And have been doing pretty good, making some money on them. But, you know, in a big box of lunch boxes takes a little bit to ship. But it was fairly close to me, so I did good. I'm doubling up on all these anyways. $24.95 for this Mickey and Minnie lunchbox plus shipping. $24.95. It does have the thermos, which is definitely the key to these. And condition, because Mickey and Minnie don't typically do good. But it's a little French cafe in Paris or Epcot, I suppose. $25 plus shipping. Had a lot of people lately ask me to bring back the shipping videos. We used to do that. We used to put a camera up here and pull it out and just fast forward, and we'd show you how we ship every single thing at the end of every video. And then we made some specific ones. Me and my kids would get in, my wife or something. But it takes a lot of work to do those, y'all. So I figured I would just show you. I love it when you find a perfect box. That Barbie box fit perfectly in this one, but this box was huge. But it was a recycled box, and I was like, this will work. And so it fit perfectly in here. Put a little paper below, a little paper above, and you just use this thing to score it. And that's it. Just cut up the edges, fold it down. Yeah, this is kind of cool. I like doing this. I'm not sure I can do it with one hand, but I'll try. I like to make, well, you won't be able to see it. I just cut down here really, really hard. This is just super easy. So I make a double cut right through here. I'll do it. Let me put the camera down. And by the way, it's not rocket science. And this is part of the reason I don't do it too, because a lot of people know this stuff already. They've been packing out their tens of thousands of packages for years, but this is just one way. If you ever get it just over the limit and you want to get a little bit more weight off of it, you do that double cut. So you get the top cut and you get the bottom cut. This was really thick, so I didn't quite get it. But I got close. You get a perfect seam right there. So You take 2 big pieces out, you can use them later. Take a little bit of weight off. I mean, that's 3 ounces right there. So I don't know if it saved us any money or not, but when it puts it over that limit, let's see if it saved us any money. But either way, it looks better. It's a cleaner cut that way. No, I don't think it did. 3 pounds, let's see here. Nope, we're about 1 ounce short. I could do this though. Watch this. I want to save us some money right here. I'm gonna cut these flaps because they also overlap. I'm gonna take them off here and here, and I'm gonna cut it down another 1.5 ounces, and we're gonna save us a little bit of money in shipping. So those last couple of cuts saved us 45 cents. And in reality, the fact that we shaped it pretty much to the size of the item with giving it enough space for a little bit of protection saved us probably $7. I mean, if you put it in a box like that, it gets over a cubic foot, it's going to cost you a bunch. So this one right here is costing $9.27. It's going to Florida. And I charge $9.99, so we're basically breaking even on that one. Recycled box, a little bit of tape, a little bit of paper. Got to pay the fees, so we're actually losing a little bit of money on that one. But that's okay, because what did it sell for, y'all? Thing sold for pretty good. Overall order value, $84.91, so we still did good. And since people ask me about how do you know what to charge if you do flat rate like I do, I charge $15.99 for the knife block, and it costs $12.04. It's going to Minnesota. So, you know, we lost just a little bit on the Barbie thing. Not much, probably 50 cents. Because you got to pay the fees on that too, you know. And so we're making a little bit of money on this one. And it all tends to work out. Hey, last one here. This is that set of 10 Bibles. Put 5 on this side, 5 on this side. Cut it down. And of course, the box costs a little bit of money. But I do usually use calculated shipping. It's the only thing I do it on Media Mail. And then I check to see if USPS Media Mail is cheaper or Ground Advantage. In this case, Ground Advantage is way cheaper. $16.63 Ground Advantage will get there faster for $8.47. So don't always assume that Media Mail is cheaper. A lot of times it is not cheaper. And in this case, because it's only going a little ways away here. Let's see, where's it going? Can't be too far if it's that cheap. Birmingham, Alabama. So that's a good one. We're going to make some money on shipping on that one, which is super cool, and it'll get there a little quicker. Love it. All right, y'all, I think I'm going to stop right there. I could do a few more today, but I got to film a video tomorrow, so got to get some listings done as well. So we'll get this stuff shipped out of here. Let me know what you think, whether you agree, you disagree, whether you think eBay's... Forget about the argument about what should be allowed, what shouldn't. Do you agree or disagree with the fact that, well, with my opinion of the fact that eBay should at least systematically deal with this stuff so that it's the technology has got to be there to not allow it to be listed to begin with, I would think. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and I can't wait to see you next.